First aid and firefighting equipment. We are going to be looking at first aid, the first aid balls, and fire safety and fire extinguisher. Now, what's first aid? First aid is the first treatment given to an injured person before the arrival of a doctor, or you can also say the first aid is the treatment given to sustain an accident victim. I gave two definitions: given to an injured person, or what, an accident victim. So if the injury is serious, the injured person should be taken to the hospital after the first aid treatment. And that will bring us to the first aid balls. The first aid balls must be easily identifiable and accessible. The first aid ball has the content of everything you need for the first aid treatment, and they involve roller bandage, cotton wool, scissors, safety pin, tweezer. We have hydrogen peroxide is there, ointment is there, sanitizer is there, disinfectant is there. We have blade, we have iodine, we have painkillers. Those are drugs. We have our syringe. Now, first aid treatment. We are going to be looking at cuts as an example of under first aid treatment. Cuts are fresh wounds caused by sharp objects. Example of the sharp objects are knife, broken glass, broken cup, etc. on the flesh. Now, we have burn. A burn is an injury caused by fire or hot, dry heat, such as pressing iron. And care of it. How do we care for it? You put the burns in a gently running water. We have scarred. Scarred is caused by moist heat. It may be hot water or hot oil injury on the skin, and it's cared for by using raw egg. When you apply raw egg on scar, that's how you care for scarred. Now, electric shock. Electric shock can be caused by a variety of faults and the mishandling of electrical equipment. They care. Free the person by using a dry insulator material such as wood and cloth. Do not touch the person with your bare hand, otherwise you yourself will be electrocuted also. Now, the current should be switched off and an artificial respiration should be applied if necessary. Then you call the doctor. Now, normal shock. Shock may be caused through an injury, giving rise to pain through hemorrhage, or through mental stimulus such as bad news. The patient is pale, cold, and shivering. Treatment: keep the patient comfortable, lying down and warm. Fracture and sprain. These are generally caused by a fall, giving rise to pain, swelling, bleeding, and sometimes bone protruding. Now, care. A sprain should be bandaged using bandage immersed in cold water. While fracture, the bone should not be moved till the doctor comes to attend to the patient. And that will bring us to fire safety. Fire safety has to do with reducing the risk of fire. Now, using our fire extinguisher and provision of detection alarms and so on to reduce fire outbreak. We have detecting fire, reading fire warning sign, identifying hazard, and fire safety, firefighting using firefighting equipment. Now, source of fire. We have the source of ignition, we have oxygen, and fuel. These are the three sources that can cause fire. If any of the source is omitted, then fire cannot take place. Without the three being complete, fire cannot burn. Now, oxygen. Oxygen may be in form of oxygen present in the air or additional source from oxidizing substance. Then ignition source has to do with naked flames, flammable gas, our wood, our solid, our equipment can be a source of ignition. Now, fuel. Fuel also can be a source of ignition. It can be flammable gas, flammable liquid, and flammable solid. That will bring us to fire extinguisher. Now, before we talk about the fire extinguisher, we are going to talk about the classes of fire. We have class A fire, class B fire, class C fire, class D fire, class E fire, and class F fire extinguisher. Now, class A fire extinguisher involves combustible solid material such as wood, paper, etc. While class B fire extinguisher involves light or highly liquid solids such as paint, oil, solvent, petroleum, fat, etc. Class C fire involves gas. What? Gas. Hydrogen peroxide, hydrogen sulfide, hydrogen sulfide, ammonium, and hydrogen what? Gas. Class D fire include metal like magnesium, aluminium, zinc, and potassium. Class E fire includes electrical equipment and what? Appliances. While class F involves what? Cooking, oil in the kitchen fire. Maybe oil in the kitchen caught fire. That's what? Class F what? Fire. Now we are going to talk on the various fire extinguisher for this fire. Now, what kind of fire extinguisher are we going to use for class A fire? What kind of fire extinguisher are we going to use for what? Class B fire, and so that we suit and be able to quench the fire that we want it to what? Quench. Remember I said that if any of the source of fire is not available, fire cannot quench. So fire is a chemical reaction between fuel, oxygen, if what? Ignited. That will bring us to types of portable fire extinguisher. Now the types of fire extinguisher. We have water fire extinguisher, foam, carbon dioxide powder, and what? Wet chemical fire extinguisher. Firefighting extinguisher medium are placed in a portable extinguisher. Now this is water extinguisher. Water fire extinguisher are cost-effective ways to prevent class A fires such as paper, wood, and textile. They have red label. Now when you see red, you can see it here is red. That's their color. That's their label, red. Now foam fire extinguisher. They can be used on class A fire and class B fires. They are most suited to extinguish liquid fires such as petroleum or gas, and they have cream label. You can see the cream where the foam fire extinguisher is what? Written on. We have the carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. They can be used on electrical equipment and class B fires. They have black label. You can see their black label and the CO2 written there. So we say they can be used on electrical equipment and class B fires. Remember the classes of fires. We have powder fire extinguisher. They can be used on class A, class B, and class C fire, and they have blue label, as you can see in this image. You can see class A, class B, class C, and even class E fires on the blue label, the image there on the fire extinguisher. That's what they can be used for. And we have the wet chemicals. We said they can be used on class F fires, including class A and class B, and they have yellow color. That is, they can be used for vegetable oil fire extinguishers. That is kitchen burn oil. See you in our next class. Bye.